I want to share a story with you that highlights this profoundly and beautifully, and it highlights the role of the media in being able to keep goodness alive. In May 1992, the beautiful cultural city of Sarajevo was entering its second month of what would become a 4-year siege by Serbian nationals. For the residents of the city, life became this harrowing daily survival of trying to avoid the shelling and the snipers that surrounded the hills of the city and would aim at anyone, men, women, children, anyone in their sights. And at 4 p.m. on the 27th of May that year, as a long queue of people waited patiently for a bakery that was one of the last functioning bakeries in the city, a mortar shell landed in their midst, instantly killing 22 people. Almost 100 others were wounded. Ambulances and emergency services battled to get to the carnage because the snipers started taking aim at them. Vedran Smailovic, widely known in Sarajevo as an exceptionally talented cello player, lived close to the bakery. He witnessed the carnage that afternoon. The men, the women, the children, killed or seriously injured. Neighbours, some of them. Devastated and enraged by the senseless violence that he saw, he felt compelled to do something. But he was a musician, not a politician, not a soldier. What could he do? Well, at 4 p.m. the next day, dressed in his coattails and shirt as if he was performing on stage for the Sarajevo Opera, he returned to the scene of the bombing, set a stool in the crater that had been left by the shell, and began to play this haunting Albinoni's Adagio in G minor. He played this same piece every day in the same place for 22 days. And as he did so, the shelling and the snipers continued to rain down around him. He continued to play each day until the piece of music was finished. Smailovic refused to be cowed, paralysed by the fear of what was going on in his beloved city, and he refused to allow the evil that he saw in the streets of Sarajevo to overcome him. And as a result, two incredibly significant things happened. The first was that as people witnessed this extraordinary act of goodness that was born of his courage and determination to honour the 22 lives that had been lost, gradually what happened was that optimism started to seep into their hearts, gently moving aside the fear, the grief, and the hopelessness that so many were feeling. The power of his actions and the beauty of his music reignited something within, and it enabled people to begin to move from a place of fear to a place of optimism and hope. The Cellist of Sarajevo, the story has continued to be told. It continues to inspire people 30 years later towards optimism, towards goodness in the face of evil, towards courage and virtue. As communicators and creators, leaders within Christian media and the arts, in all the platforms that you work in, and I understand there are many, you have an incredible opportunity to cultivate goodness, to inspire people to virtue and altruism. But you know where it starts, don't you? It starts with a mirror and some serious soul searching. Because for each of us, it's this day-by-day process of being transformed into the likeness of a good God.